Here is a 1990s Kenmore 18,000 BTU air conditioner. This is a Whirlpool product. It's more or less the larger version of that one over there. I quite like these machines. I think they're very good quality and very high performance. Ken gave me this one. I believe he pulled it out of a customer's house and it was replaced with some new modern piece of junk that won't last as long or work as well. And I was told that it's not operable. So I did some brief testing on it, and the compressor runs and appears to get cold, so there's definitely some gas in it, but the fan does not run. So it most likely just needs a couple drops of oil. The door is busted, but at least it's present, so we can do something about that. It's actually in pretty nice condition cosmetically, all things considered. There's like no scratches anywhere. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said about the coil. The coil is in pretty poor condition, and it looks like it might have even been run without a filter for who knows how many years. And it's all like mashed up in there. I don't know if that happened during the removal process or whatever, but we can fix all that, not a big deal. It's got a plastic pan in here, which is interesting. And the coil is 4 layers thick on the evaporator. That's pretty serious. This has got a lot of surface area to this coil. It's not a small coil by any means. It's a pretty large machine. It's model number 106.8761890 with the serial number of Y71959287. I don't see a date on here anywhere. Perhaps somebody can decode that serial number to determine the date. It's got the knobs for thermostat and fan speed. This thermostat is very difficult to turn. It's about 70 degrees in here, so that's set pretty low. That seems to be working good still. And then the knob is busted for the stupid vent thing, but it's a dumb, useless feature anyway, so who cares? Does it have no information behind there? Calls for 9 amps on 240. That's not bad for almost a 1.5 ton capacity. Or is that exactly? That is 1.5 tons. 18,000. 12, 13, 40. Yeah, that's 1.5 tons. This might go in the kitchen if I get it to work well and get a 220 outlet in there. This is one of my favorite styles of guards. It's so iconic. Well, let's go ahead and get this thing slid out. It's a very similar design to the 14K that's here in the garage. Got the handle, clips on the bottom and everything. Let's see what we're working with here. Oh boy. Wow. We got some serious rust issues going on in here. And something's messed up with the coil pretty bad. Alright, this is going to be a This is a rust bucket. It's not quite carrier level, but it's getting close. Yeah, it probably still runs. It's stuck. This case is in kind of odd condition. I've never seen anything like this before. The top of the case is totally rusted out. And you can see this is the line where it was in the building. Okay, so this is the original paint color, and then this is probably where the wall was. This is where the wall stopped, and then the paint is gone, just totally gone. It's bare metal, and then it starts to rust. I have no idea how that happens. It's not rusted on the sides. It's not really rusted on the back necessarily, other than the whatever drips from the top. Something like highly corrosive must have been dripping on this, which is really an odd thing to have happen. And then there's some tape on there, I don't know why. This side's fine. This one, the things point inward. That's the way that it should be. This back guard is completely rusted out, but it's still integral. The whole thing is strong. This is all surface rust, which is even weirder. So I don't know what the heck is up with this. That's super bizarre to me. Never seen that happen before. A little bent up on the bottom here. We can fix that, not a big deal. So now let's look at the machine itself. So this portion of the pan is gone. I don't know where it went. It's just gone. And we got a big hole here that we're gonna have to seal because a lot of air will leak out through there. And it looks like some of the tubes are missing, but I know that's literally inconceivable, so I guess that's just the way it was built. It's kind of weird. The coil is fine at the top. It's good, good, good. And actually all the way down, it's still sturdy at the bottom. It's a little dodgy over here. It's very dodgy over here. Wherever it's turned that whitish color, it's shot. You can see the rust. Or I can see. Can you see in the camera? Yeah, you can see a rust line going down like this, and it is soft there, but it's not totally gone. It's gone down here. This is just all corroded and messed up. And then we get over to here on this side. Let me get a drop light out. Right, now we can actually see what's going on here. So we've got the bottom rung of the coil, which is supposed to be over here, is now over here. That's kind of weird and also very concerning. That I'm not sure if we should leave alone or if we should try to put it back. That's really an unusual thing to have happen. I don't really know how it got like that. When I had taken it out the first time and I was sliding it back in, this was out too far. It kept getting caught. That's why I put this on here to hold it back. It looks to me like there's no kinks in the capillary tubes and no oil there, so there should not be any kind of a leak. I really don't think that any damage transpired when that occurred, however that occurred. It's obviously not good, but we might just have to leave it like that because we got to bend this back. That's not something I really just want to do. These are pretty forgiving. You can play with them a little bit, but you're always pushing the boundaries when you start moving this stuff around. So I'm not sure what we're going to do about that. It's a little flaky. Actually, that's super flaky, but it is what it is. Looking inside in the fan area here, it's like a carrier fan. Yeah, the coil's rotted at the bottom, and you can see where that piece came out, but I mean, it's not horrible. It's not super rotted. It feels pretty strong still. There's some dust, but it's not astronomical. I've seen much worse over the years. Okay, that might be our problem alone. It's all, that would definitely lock it up. So we got to figure out why it's like that. The compressor is a Matsushita compressor, and it is, I can't tell if it's made in USA or made in Japan. Maybe you can read that. I know it's not in the best focus. Either way, Matsushita is very good quality, and the fan motor is an Emerson fan motor. So this is comprised of high quality components. And that's one of the reasons why I don't understand why people don't like these. It's very good quality equipment. I don't see any oil spots anywhere. Everything looks fine. It is kind of weird that the rust is traveling up the condenser like that, because this doesn't get wet, or at least it shouldn't. It should only get wet on the inside. This is raining, but I don't know. Something is just weird with this. Anyways, let me clip you onto the air conditioner here. And now, let's see what I can do about this fan here. I suspect the condenser is just floating at this point in time. Oh, is this? Can we open this up and take a look inside? Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, let's take a look inside. Maybe this will give us some clues as to what's wrong. Talk about ease of service. Open this up, dump in some coil cleaner, rinse the living daylights out of it, and shut it again, and you're good to go. So there, wow, there's that line, the bottom one of the condenser. Oh man, why is it like that? Is that what it's stuck on? I think it is stuck on that, so we can't run this at all if it might hit that, because it'll wear right through there. This is a tricky one. I think we're going to have to start with vacuuming out all these rust chips, and then once we've got the ground clearance to see where the stuff needs to go, maybe we can try to bend that back. I'm very nervous to bend that back, but it cannot be in the path of the fan like that. That's not going to work. Well, I guess that's all fireworks. I don't see nothing. Horrible. This might be at carrier level. Look at that mess. Wow. Oh, that's not good. Well, it might not be good, but that's what we're working with, so let's keep going. You know what would have avoided much of this? A drain hole. It just would have. It's a reality. There goes the Whirlpool 14. Alright, so now with that removed, all that junk out of there, I need to try to push the those coils, not those coils, those that tube back under there, get it out of the path of the fan blade. It has to happen. There's no way it's going to work the way it is. This is a super risky operation, but it needs to happen. So here's the problem. That tube on the bottom should be about 4 inches forward. I hate this. I hate what's about to be done, but it's got to be done. I got to pull this back. Oh gosh. Come on. Go, go, go. All right. There's a lot of pressure on these capillary tubes right now. Alright, I'm sweating after doing that. Wow. Alright, I think we got it. There is an abrasion on this, a very deep mark on this, but I don't think so that it went through because there's no oil there, so I think we're good. And that's it. That's how it's going to stay. Just enough so that the fan blade will not hit it. And that's it. I'm not playing with it anymore. there's no reason to keep playing with it. The metal is soft, I can tell. I can feel it. It's moving way too easy. I'll probably take a tie wrap and just secure it to the other layer here. And those two, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, because I don't want that to keep moving around. I'm going to go get some tie wraps. Alright, we got to play with these tubes one more time, and then we're done with them. Get this stinking light to stay somewhere that's helpful. It's proving to be more difficult than it should be. Alright, so on the bottom we have these 4 tubes here, which I really don't want to be touching the bottom of the cage, or the pan, whatever you want to call it, because that just seems like a recipe for trouble. So we'll try to avoid that. And I think the best thing to do is we'll tie wrap all 4 together, and I'll put the tie wrap such that the thick part there is on the bottom, or I'll wrap it around a couple times to hold it up. So let me just vacuum the rest of the junk out of here. I bet that these were tied up together at one point and the tie just broke, because there looks like remnants of a metal clip right here that would have kept them all held together. Alright, so I think we have survived that horrible operation of bending that back. That was nerve-wracking, because I thought for sure something might break, but I think everything turned out okay. I really do think that everything is okay here. So we're going to have to do a lot of tie wrapping to get this back into place. I'm going to start over here and wrap this up here. Now I am so confident that this still has a charge in it, I'm going to do all this work without testing it. You have to trust your equipment, and I trust these things very much. Alright, this is going to be tricky. I don't want to can I just put them all together like that? Yeah, I think I can. I am never one to say don't try things you see in the video at home. Do not bend these things at home. This is very risky what we're doing here. I know the tolerance that these things can handle, but you can definitely mess stuff up by going too far with that. See, these are hitting the bottom. I don't like that. I don't want it that way. I wonder if I can see that. It sounds nearby. As soon as I went outside, it stopped. And those stupid screaming owls were out there. I hate those stupid things. So I came back inside, because this is not something you want to do while you're irritated. Before we go any further, I'm going to join these 2 loops back here so that we know where this is going to sit, because I don't like that moving around like that. That's pretty much back to where it should be by some miracle. So now we're going to put one under here. Not so much to tie these tight, but just to get it off in between the bottom like that. I just don't want those two to be touching the bottom. I was there for about 10 minutes to watch the fireworks, and just from standing there I am drenched in sweat. It is still so uncomfortable out. Oh, back to this mess. I'm gonna put this one over the bottom two. Just so that these cannot be scraping up against the bottom of the pan. Definitely don't want any metal on metal contact with these. That's motion. Pretty good like that. Just keeps it off the bottom there. Perfect. And I think we'll do one here just to keep all these together and off the pan. And I think that wraps up our little capillary tube condenser freak show. Okay, I'm pretty content with that. I'm not going to cut these just yet. I'm going to leave these just sitting in here in case we need to come back here and adjust something. Go back and cut those later. It's not going to impede anything that we're going to do. So now we'll put the condenser back together. Actually, these I think we can probably cut. But now, I don't think I have a cutter in here, so I'm just going to... Oh, no, I do actually have a cutter in here. I just remembered it using it a few minutes ago. Cut something else. These I don't think that we're going to change, so I'll cut these off. That one I might have to tighten up, so we'll leave a little bit. This we're done with. And I guess I'll cut this here. I suppose we're probably not going to adjust that at all, but I'll leave a little bit in case we do. Okay. So let's put the condenser back together. Now this apparatus goes over here, and I don't know what that does. It's so rusted out that whatever it did, I don't think it no longer does.
I'll put it back just for the sake of originality, but I don't think it's serving any purpose at this point. Oh, I see a problem here. Actually, I see a big problem with what we did. Glad I caught that. That is definitely a problem. See that touch in there? That is no good. That has to be clamped down to there. It can touch it. What we don't want is it to vibrate against it. That's how you get little pinholes in things. So we'll just clamp that down pretty good, and that should... nope, that's not fixing the problem. I got one more. Now these also might not last under the heat, so we'll have to see. I have to keep an eye on this. That was a total fail. Okay, well, we'll have to just deal with that later. I think it's probably okay the way it is. It won't vibrate much, but it's better to make it extra sure, as opposed to end up with a hole there. Not that I want to plug a hole anywhere, but that's definitely not somewhere I want to do it. It's so rusted out. We got to get all new screws for this. I'll have to ask Ken where this was and see if he can provide any insight onto these weird rust patterns on the top. It's very, very odd. Still have a problem because it's hitting, now it's just hitting rust flakes. Yeah, I was talking to somebody a couple days ago, and he said that he just cut the slinger off, and that's kind of looking like the direction we might go on this one, because the slinger is providing that extra. Well, just get that out of there. One big old honking chunk I gotta remove. And actually that will solve the problem if I can get that out of there. It's gonna be tough to remove. Let's see if I can just break it up and vacuum it out instead. Here we go. I think I can get it out from this side. I gotta open this up again. A. Second. Oh, I think I can just break it up enough to maybe get it with a vacuum. Almost got it. Good. Wouldn't that be funny if this was discarded from service because it just became so rusted that the fan couldn't spin anymore? I think that's kind of, that maybe that might be the problem. That's not good. But that's what we're working with. Sometimes that's what you get in this hobby. You get some crazy stuff going on in these things. They put on a really nice show over there. I went last year too. Very professional grade. All right. So that's it. We got a working fan again, or a fan that's free to spin. If it works or not, I don't know yet. But at least now it has the potential to work. Shut this. We'll have to put new foam up there because this is not going to make a good seal. I mean, the bottom's not going to make a good seal either, so it's kind of a moot point. But now let's see what we got. I think that we should be good to power it on. All right, let's give it a test. We'll begin just with the fan. Compressor clicked off. We are live with power. Might be a bad capacitor. Let's see if it starts up now. Yep, it's a bad cap.
Alright, let's see if I got one on hand. I know the compressor fires. It's inconsequential since we know we need to get a new cap. It looks like it's all rusted out anyways. Okay. Hopefully it's something typical. We're going to need the Verticam drill. Get that undone. Even a screwdriver won't fit in there. There's the drain hole. It's not designed right. Should have been down there. I bet this unit would still be in service if it was where it should have been. This is an odd in-between size that we need here. Alright, here's our capacitor, which has definitely seen better days. Gosh, that's awful. And of course the values are unknown. The fan calls for 5 micro-farads. Let's see if I can get a meter and find out what the... see if I can determine what the hermetics is. Hopefully it's like a 35 or something that's common. I can't read any of the data on there. It's just gone. Wow. Talk about spoiled and filthy. Huh, it's got a grounding tab on it. That's kind of interesting. Alright, now I need a screwdriver. This one is a tad excessive, but it will serve the purpose. So let's see, our fan, the compressor is black, yellow, which we don't have, white, which I believe is this, and then brown, which I think is this. So this is probably our common. No, there's only, that's not right. I can't see these colors that good. It's this wire. Alright. So this is this should be our compressor. We're gonna have to replace these terminals. These are shot. Wow. So that's our hermetics there. This is the fan side, which we know is calling for a 5. This is a mess. I wonder if it's just not making contact because it's so rusted. And this should be our common. So these are both to the fan, I guess. And then, alright. What a mess.
can't even get it off because it's so rusted on there. I don't like to use pliers on these types of connectors, but I might have to. That is just not coming off. Or I might just have to snip the wires and redo them. That is a possibility. Wow. Okay, so these are common. I keep these together. And then we know that, was it this one? This is our compressor, and this should be the fan. Alright, let's see if we get anything out of this cap. I'm hoping that we can get some values, at least for the hermetic side. Zero. 0.004. $24, I got 24. 24.95. I highly doubt it's a 24.9 micro-farad capacitor. This is probably drifted on that side as well. So that need 25.5 if that's correct. I wonder if we can get a part number off of this compressor and try to find out. Usually the compressors don't say on them what it calls for. Oh, it's made in Japan. Well, let me see if I got 25.5 on hand here. I might. That's not too uncommon. I've got 35.5. That's not going to work. I've got 35. 35.5. So 35.5. We've got another 35.5. And what's this one? This one is a 30 plus 5. I'd be willing to try this 30 plus 5. That would probably be okay. Because it's plus 30 plus 5, it's plus or minus 3%. Well, we also could check the power factor of the compressor, and when it hits 1, or close to 1, that would be the value that we're looking for. This actually is the capacitor out of the Carrier International at my grandparents' house. I just swapped it a couple years ago because that thing runs unattended. That's 3137, and this is showing, if I can get a reading out of it, it's showing 24. It's probably a 25. So I need a 25.5. Well, I guess we'll try it. I think 5 above is okay. Especially because this is 35 years old or something. It's probably getting a little weak anyways. I don't want to put these
rusty old terminals on a brand new capacitor, so we'll just test it. It's not going to run it for an extended period of time. See how this is bent now? That's why I don't like to use pliers on these things. And I guess it don't matter, we'll put a new one on there anyways. And this is compressor or fan? That's the fan. And this should be the compressor, yep. Gosh, these terminals are disgusting. This definitely needs to be completely redone. Alright, so we'll go with that for now. And this is just a ground. I'm not worried about that. Let's see if we can... this, I don't think that this would even go around that. No, it won't. So we'll just screw this back on so we don't lose it. And I will order a 25.5. I'm pretty sure that that's what that capacitor is. If anybody can confirm or deny, it would be greatly appreciated. Alright, let's just see what happens. I'll blip it real quick to make sure in case it's going to explode, but it does. It's exploding very quickly. I think it'll be fine. It's a pretty cool C-clamp. Alright. Let's see what we get here. Hopefully we just get a nice functional piece of equipment and not something undesirable. And that's why you always blip it first, because you never know what's going to happen. Where's it hidden? Well, the fan's happy now, and we know that it has the right values. Perfect. Alright, so the fan is content. Now we got to see about the compressor. It's content. Ooh, it sounds a little metallic-y. Let's see if we get any sweat over here. Oh, it's cold. And this thing is in sad coil condition, so we're going to have to do a lot of coil cleaning before we can expect performance up to par. Alright, we're getting some frost down there, which is reasonable. It just turned on. Let's give it a few minutes to build pressure. This is high hours, so we've got to be patient with it. I don't see any evidence of leakage on this side. I don't see any evidence of leakage on the other side either. In fact, this side's pretty much free of rust, which is interesting because the other side is fairly rusty. I hear the gas going through there. Yeah, we got a mix of hot and cold runs. Definitely doing something. Yeah, I can hear gas going through there. Oh no. Okay, good. The condenser must be in decent shape because I heard the head pressure go down as soon as the fan restarted, so it must not be too bad. Probably fine above the top inch or two. Yeah, it's getting pretty cold. It's definitely cooling. I want to see that frost go away. If that frost goes away, we'll slip it back into the case and we'll give it a better run. We're getting a lot of sweat on there now. Got a couple more minutes to build some more pressure. Not going back cold yet. Now some of these take excessive amounts of time to build pressure,
So I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with it until we let it operate for like half an hour. It's not going back cold. It's cool, but it's not cold like it should be. Discharge is very hot. Sure sounds like it's got plenty of gas in there. There it goes, there it goes. Yeah, it's just going to take time. Second layer, defrosted. Third layer, defrosting. Cold is moving up now. See, it's getting there. Just going to take its time. That's a little ridiculous. It's cold to the top. Rotary takes time, and I think that's one of the reasons why people don't like it. It's starting to get cooler going back now. It's still not cold, but it's getting cooler. I think we need to test in the case. My vote's on the full charge. Alright, let's slip it in. I feel like this is going to be a problem though. Trying to get this back in. Because I think that fan is going to shift. And it's going to hit something. I can still hear the gas moving through there. This has been sitting for a long time. I don't think this was pulled out yesterday. This was pulled out weeks ago. If not a month, I don't know, maybe longer. Part of this is a little bent up on the bottom. I'm trying to undo that. Yeah, Control Z on that. Alright. Let's see if I can get this to go in there. Oh gosh, this is awful. Rust all over the place. This is really going to be I think this is going to be a problem once I slide it in because I can't adjust it anymore. Well, we'll see. If it hits, it hits. We'll have to play the game. Wouldn't be the first time, and it sure won't be the last. This is a fun hobby, but it does not go easy most of the time. You're working with stuff that's just tired, and most of it's been misused most of the life. And it just doesn't want to work anymore, some of it. bad start with that. Well, let's see what happened. The screw came off. I wonder if that's what the problem was. Maybe it'll be okay. This is where it gets stuck every time. I think it's getting stuck on the what I was trying to bend down. I don't like to just shove them in, but it's just gonna damage the back. I'm pretty sure it's stuck on the back portion of the sleeve. Yep, that's where it's stuck. Let's see if I can get it in from the back, maybe. Not stuck on the back. I have no idea what the problem is at this point. Anything over here. I don't understand what is going on here. It's hitting like a hard stop, but I don't know. I can't tell what it's up against. Not that. That's what I thought it was, but it's not that. This is confusing. Oh, it's just totally stuck. I just figured it out. At least I think I figured it out. Did I figure it out? Yep, I just figured it out. It's gotta go way up and then in. That's the problem. This bar is getting stuck on the bottom here. That's the issue. I knew it was a hard stop. Sometimes you can feel like it's just a little bit stuck and you can keep going, but when it's a hard stop like that, you can't force it. You gotta find out what the problem is. Overcoming that might be a little bit more difficult. Although now it's past that. So now, there we go. Now, after all that, is the fan gonna spin? Probably not. So let's find out. At least now we know how it works. Hey, sometimes you get lucky with this stuff. All right. Well, that was a lot of effort. But at least now we have oh boy. Now we have a working unit, I hope. Why the heck is the thermostat wire so short? Something's weird about that. That's not correct. Alright. Now we can test it. Well, that's cool. It's like the super thrust. You can shut some of the registers. Okay, now let's see what this thing can do. I'll convert the meter back to temperature here. I don't have amperage. I gotta build a plug that I can put the clamp meter over each lead and find out what the draw is. Or, does anybody know, is there like a kilowatt type device for 220? I would buy it if there is. It's worth it. I use it often enough. Alright, get this set up here. Stick this in. And here we go. Let's see what we got out the back. Oh, perfect. We got a lot of airflow out the back. Not bad. I thought it was going to be next to nothing, but we got airflow. There's definitely a lot leaking out the top. A lot leaking. So we'll have to fix that for sure. But the coil is, I think the coil is generally okay still. Airflow out the front, kind of poor actually. I suspect that's because of how much dust is on the coil. Sure seemed like it was pushing a lot of air out before I had a cover on. But if the cover reduces airflow that much, that would explain why it wasn't getting all the way cold. That's why you always got to test with the cover on, because that's how it's designed to operate. But to me, this airflow seems a lot weaker than it should be. Now we got to check that. We got, well, the coil's blocked with dust, so that's probably cutting it down quite a bit. Hard to argue with that. We got Delta 20 already. It's 69 in here. 49. Perfect. That's blowing some cold air out of there. We're done with that.
45. I'd like to get this visible in the video. Is that too much to ask for? I guess it is too much to ask for. There we go. That's blowing cold. $44. 43. I wonder if it's going back cold now. I bet it is. 42. That's pretty long enough. It's not sweating yet. Here, some time. 41. Feeling real good on a day like today. That's nice. It's very weak airflow though. I would have expected like a monsoon out of this thing, and we're barely getting anything. Maybe this is one of those machines that works more off of air temperature than airflow. Some of them are like that. Man, it's that cold. That's refrigerator cold. Sweating. It's starting to sweat. Sweat back to the accumulator. That satisfies you that it has no leakage. 37. Jeez, that is freezing. I don't understand why the airflow is so low, but the temperature sure is freezing. I feel like it should move in a lot more air than this. Ah, just satisfied. Well, 37, that's pretty good. The thermostat's literally touching the coil. That's our problem. I don't see any ice inside. Probably is recirculating a bit. Yeah, on the floor. It's bouncing off me and going back in. I bet it'll kick back on if you turn the fan up a little bit. Well, I think it's working 100%, except for the airflow. The airflow does not seem right to me. But we do have to keep in mind that the coil is bent up and filthy. Both of those items will reduce the airflow. I've got 8 pippers left on the battery, and it's getting late, so when this battery runs out, my filming session is over for the night. Hopefully this will kick back on before the video runs out of battery. If not, I think it's safe to say this is working, and we will have more videos on this, do a clean and service, get everything in good shape, and then if I can get a 220 outlet into the kitchen, this might be a contender for the kitchen. I feel like this is going to dehumidify really well. I already took it down 3% since I turned it on, which was not that long. It's time for dinner. Yeah, that's the amount of airflow I would expect. That nice registers, you can really adjust the angles really good on this. Very directional. That's nice. I tell you, I really like these machines. I think they're very good quality. Somewhat will last. There we go. Stick that down there for now. Out of the way. No, I missed. data sheet on this. That really stinks. That's given a 30-degree delta. That's really good. Pretty much holding it on high fan too. It's not going up much. Not even 2 degrees yet. Yeah, this works really good. This is a nice machine. It's cold all the way across and it's really cold.